Okay, we should be live. I'm just going to open the video in another tab real quick. YouTube's whole system really sucks. I don't know how people do this. Okay, yeah, that seems to be working. Okay, cool. So, hi everybody. I have bought 15 PlayStation Classics off of an eBay lot. They are all marked as broken. Um, they look like this, and they have malfunction written on them, and they say pre-owned on the bottom, and I'm assuming that these have come from various game stores. Much echo. I have muted everything. Let me mute my... Let's try this. Mute that. Mute that. It should all go to my headset. Is that better? Still getting used to how all this works. Sounds fine on my end. Test 1, 2, mic check. Yeah, I mean, I got my... This is with my webcam audio, like, enabled. Now that's disabled. So it should be good. I'm viewing it from the live stream on YouTube. And it sounds to be okay. As far as I can tell. Yeah, it sounds fine on my end. So, I'm just gonna get started. So, got a lot to do. Got 15 of them to go through. Um, got a stack of 6 here. That is 6. Yeah, that is 6. We got another stack of 4, and we have another stack of 5. So we got a lot of stuff to go through. So my theory is that these aren't actually broken, and the people testing them didn't actually really know what they were doing. I have a feeling that they were like plugging into a PC power source. And for those that don't know, if you plug a PlayStation Classic into anything that uses like the USB data lines and tries to like enumerate it and everything like that, um, it won't work. It will like power off. This is some software setting that is in the original firmware, and it's something that we can potentially get around. And here I am stuck without a power supply for my USB devices. Oh, never mind, I got one here. I gotta crawl under my desk though. Okay, so I got my cable here. Um, I should probably plug in HDMI, get that set up. I don't know how I didn't have that set up. It's been kind of chaotic today. Um, So yeah, like I said, I'm really just thinking that a lot of these are just an issue where it's not turning on like that. There is a fairly widespread issue of the what do you want to call it? The USB hub chip on board not working properly, and basically that comes down to for some reason they have been popping kind of like popcorn. And you can look at some pictures online where people have tried to get them to work, and they, sorry, trying to get an HDMI cable out. For one reason or another, the chip has kind of exploded, and there's a hole left in the top of the USB hub chip. It's probably due to some overcurrent type of thing going on. That obviously can also be an issue, but that's something we might be able to at least get around if not fixed. Okay, so I got my HDMI cable. I am going to plug this into my HD capture device, which is very warm because it is a cheap piece of junk. At some point I would like to upgrade that, but whatever. Okay, so we got HDMI plugged in, and I need my power. And I'm going to switch to HDMI capture full. You know what? Let's bring up the webcam on this, just so you can see. I actually have like scenes set up now, like a little bit, and it should be outputting like 1080p. So if there's anything wrong with the quality, let me know. It looks like I'm streaming, or at least it's coming in off of YouTube like that, so it should be fine. And I'm getting no drop frames either, which is great. Okay, so I'm going to plug this in. I'm expecting the light to turn orange. And we got an orange light. So, power it on. Turns green. Okay, we got a Sony logo. We got a boot up. And it is in Portuguese? Or is that Spanish? I am not good with foreign languages because I am one of those American people. I need to plug in a PlayStation Classic controller. So the first one's booting, which is not a bad scene. Not a bad sight. That is. So I got my controller plugged in. Oh yeah, it's in Spanish. Look at that. Doesn't seem to be anything wrong. Let's try Rayman. It's booting up. I don't know if you guys are getting audio off of this. Okay. It's kind of what I figured, so we're just going to go with it. No audio off of the HDMI, which is fine. I don't think I've actually like turned on a working PlayStation Classic since last March, April. It's kind of sad. Yeah, so I'm just gonna try plugging it into the other port. And do a reset here. Oh yeah, see, okay. It's plugged in the second port now, and I can still hit X. So this is a working system. 1 out of 15. Is it bad? I paid $75 for the lot and then $22 shipping, so it came out to like $105, $110 or something like that. Which, if you do that math, doesn't work out right, but taxes and all that crap. So as long as I can get 5 of them out of this 15 working, I'll basically be coming out at, sale price minus controllers, which, kind of sucks that you don't get the controller and the HDMI cable and everything like that. But what I'm hoping is at least I'll have enough where I can possibly start like upgrading some of these with the eMMC, and at least I'll have a few spares to try it out. And I can start upgrading them and then possibly selling them pre-modded. All right, so we got one down. Let's take another one off the stack. This one was returned on 7/15/2019. It's still marked as pre-owned. It just says malfunction, with malfunction actually misspelled. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to plug it in through HDMI. I should be checking to see if there's any port damage. It doesn't look like it on this one. And the lot, when I bought this, just said that they were malfunctioning and were not opened and checked. So we're going to be looking for the orange light right here again, wherever the power port is. Going on orange light. And we're going to turn it on. Look at that. We have a signal. Okay. Now if I plug in the controller, aha, okay, so this one probably has the hub chip burnt out. Yep, so that's going to be a good candidate. I'm going to throw that in a separate pile. So this one boots up. It's probably just the USB chip failure. And at least what I'm hoping is I'll be able to either find a direct pin replacement or a the actual chip itself from some manufacturer and get those shipped over. Though with everything with the coronavirus and everything like that, it's kind of hard to get hold of some people these days. All right, number 3. Whoa. But yeah, I don't think there's anything actually physically wrong with most of these except for maybe the hub chip, which needs a replacement. So this one, we're going to plugged it in. Orange light, anything? No orange light. This one is marked as 4/18/2019. Nothing seems to be wrong on the ports. Try it one more time. Yeah, the no player 1 controller detected was something some people complained about when they use 9-volt bricks. That would make sense. I imagine what probably happened was somebody plugged in a 9-volt power supply into this thing, or an improperly rated one, let's say, and possibly fried it. There is some things where people say that some Samsung quick chargers can kind of not be friendly to these things. And that might certainly be the case with this one. But this one might just be a fuse. And if it's just a fuse, that's fine. We can replace that. We can jump in. We can try it. So that's going in a different pile. All right, number 4 are we on? Yeah. So we have one working one. One half working one and one not working one. All right. To begin, orange lights. Ooh, that's new. Green blinking light. Let's check. PlayStation Classic green blinking light. Oh, now it's a red blinking light. This one might just be a software thing. It's stuck in recovery mode. Stuck in recovery mode, turn the PlayStation Classic on, and while the LED is flashing red, press and hold the power and open buttons for 5 seconds. We have an orange. We have a green. And we have video. Looks like someone tried to hack their system. Can't recognize controller 1. Let's see. Seems to work. Let's try doing a little reset here. Let's do this. Oh, you know what? We gotta go into a game. What's a fast booting game? It's an early game. Oh, let's do Grand Theft Auto. Why not? Why not? What's an 001 system? Is that on the serial? No. Oh, the 001 is the yeah, it's a software thing. That's easily fixable. What I probably should have done ahead of time is made a stick that boots it and everything fine. But I didn't do that ahead of time. I just want to make sure that all ports work on this thing before I move forward. Open. Okay, let's do this, and let's switch to control port 2 and hit. Okay, so this system works. We got 2 working. Yeah, you think I would know what the boot errors would be like with creating BleemSync and everything like that, but I haven't touched it in so long. It's pretty representative of that. Okay, so that was number 4. Number 4 works. So we have a 50% success rate so far. I put it at more like a 75%. If you think about the USB hub one. All right, controller, HDMI, boop, that, and oh, a little bit of a cluster here. Let's do power. Orange light. White screen. Still could be a controller problem. Yep, look at that. Alright, USB hub problem. Fixable. Potentially. Depending on if I can find a replacement. All that. This one's... This one's gross. Let's keep this one at bay a little bit. These did come out of Indiana. I don't know if there's any coronavirus. That's such a bad joke, and I hate that. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm sorry. Orange light, green light. Reminds me of Mission Impossible. Red light, green light. The gum. I've never bought a system with cockroaches in them before. Controller problem. Oh, no. I think I might need to retest that last one. Let's go into a game again. Let's test out controller port 2. Hey, we're almost a fifth of the way through. Oh, we are more than a fifth of the way through. This is number 6. Piracy harms developers. If
Piracy harms developers. How can we have emulators that Sony can use to make a PlayStation Classic that was fueled by the piracy scene? Look at that. Piracy does harm, especially newer games that have been released. This is retrying number 5
To see if that's actually a controller port problem or if I just didn't hit the buttons properly. What's up, P-Snap? Good to have you around. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, I mean, piracy is. I think piracy has helped more than it's hurt. I'm under the theory that, or opinion, if you want to call it that, hypothesis. Okay, no, this one is definitely not working. I'm under the hypothesis that piracy doesn't actually do much harm because the people who would participate in piracy wouldn't have bought the product to begin with, or they would have bought it in a very limited capacity. And piracy does help a lot for stuff like preservation, especially with the game systems, and music as well. And that's up on screen because I yanked out the HDMI pretty quickly. So we got orange. We got green. But I think my capture device just stopped. No. Whatever will we do?
Here, you get to see my big ugly face for a second.
Let's do. I don't know if this is gonna work. If I unplug this, capture device, plug back in. I would really like to get an HDMI capture device that goes in a PCI Express slot because I don't use any PCI Express slots currently other than for my graphics card. And they're just better. I would really like to get like a multi-in-one if they make those, because I usually fight between doing the microscope and like the PlayStation Classic or something else. Alright, let's redo this. Sorry. Oh, that's fun. Uh, Video capture device.
There we go. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. Let's move the webcam back up. Hi. All right. So we got this one plugged in. Uh, oh, I don't have the controller plugged in. That's why it's not working.
Can't recognize the controller. USB hub problem. Bad limiter bypasses. I haven't even thought of that. That's a good point, Swing. We have 4 currently that do not work with controllers plugged into them. One that is totally dead. I'm thinking the one that's totally dead is probably a fuse. The ones that the controller aren't working are either possibly the limiter not working because someone screwed it up, or probably most likely the USB hub chip because they plugged it into the wrong port. This one has an error code of malfunctioning. Oh, and look at that. It says 001 here. So maybe we should build a stick for hacking. Probably do AutoBleem because I don't want to like install a kernel on this just yet. I don't want to dig out an old version of BleemSync and all that crap. So see if we get a light. We get an orange. We got a green and we got a power. And it's probably going to say boot 001. Oh no, we got a controller issue instead. Yeah, that's a good point. If unfortunately this isn't an 001, looks to be a hub chip. I don't know why it has 001 written on it. Oh, controller port. Um, yeah, it'd be nice if we ran into a hacked one, and see what version of uh, a hack it has on it, whether it has like retro boot, which is probably unlikely, or if it has some version of BleemSync. And I'm sorry, Swing, but no, I'm kidding. I'm not gonna go there. We got power plugged into this one, pre-owned. It doesn't look like it's doing anything. Replug the power. No orange, no nothing. The Postal devs said it best, running with scissors. We've gone from playing games we didn't pay for to buying games we don't play. Yeah, I mean, that's essentially what it comes down to for me. I don't think I've played. Oh, this one's dead. I'm throwing it in the dead pile. Um, I don't think I've played a modern game lately. I think the most modern game I've probably played has either been Rocket League or the new Link's Awakening, which is just a remake of the old Link's Awakening, so it's not technically a new game. And I guess Rocket League is already a remake of Rocket Power Battle Cars, so not necessarily a remake, I guess. But I wonder if this USB cable just gave out. I'm gonna try one of the non-working ones real quick because this thing is fraying. I think it's an old HTC cable from when my brother had an HTC Hero. Yeah, because this was powering up. Let me grab a new micro USB cable from somewhere. That was bound to happen. Um, I am drinking, nobody asked, but I'm drinking a pseudo Sue right now, which is from Toppling Goliath. Um, it's fresh. It's refreshing. It's citrusy. It's pale. It's hoppy. It's cold. I like it. Pick some up today. Unless you're in the UK, in which you probably can't get it. Let's see. That's a neat cable. It's not what I need, but that's a neat cable I'll need for later. As far as other things that are going on, I will be revisiting the PlayStation Classic eMMC swap soon. TM. Um, what has held me up is I was not able to get a. I blew through a couple systems and didn't want to buy one brand new again, so I was trying to wait on some used ones, and
That's where this whole thing came in because someone in the BitBuilt Discord, which if you haven't hung out with them, you should. They are part of the whole console portabilizing scene, and there's some really, really smart guys there. But we usually have this discussion about like video game console lots. Like there's a guy there, Cheese. He bought something like 200 original Wii's or something like that on a pallet. And someone posted these 15. I'm like, I can jump in at 15 units. That's not too terrible. Um, it's one of those things you can never find a cable when you absolutely need it. Isn't that the truth? You know what? I got enough of these controllers. Why don't I just take one apart and steal the cable from that? Look, I got one, brand new in bag. So, for those that don't know, sorry for the burp. The PlayStation Classic controller
comes with a micro USB cable inside instead of just being a soldered on cable. It makes a lot of sense. And I think every Wisconsinite probably cracks their voice. Wisconsinite? Wisconsonian? Scotty? Whatever. Wisconsinite. When they talk about beer. Because beer is great. And yes, I'm from Wisconsin. I am in Milwaukee. I will be at the Midwest Gaming Classic in April. That's actually my birthday weekend. If you can make it out, stop by. I'm hoping to hang out with the BitBuilt guys quite a bit. I'm going to be bringing some hardware. I'm going to be bringing my... Oh, that's weird. Microscope. And hopefully my soldering iron, because a lot of guys are flying in, and figured it might be cool to kind of like take the microscope and put it up on a TV and have people be able to look at what they're soldering and everything like that. Yeah, so these guys were born out of the Ben Heck forums, and they went to Mod Retro, and then some shit happened, and then they started their own thing.
And it's a pretty cool community. It's fun. Yeah, V37 pointed out that they got some headsets from Walmart. They're like $14 and like 1080p or something like that. And they're HDMI screens.
And that's pretty awesome. I've been wanting to pick one of those up, but they're not my area, and frankly, probably don't even need to spend the $14. There's a lot of screws in this thing, I'm realizing. I wish I had my powered screwdriver. It's around here somewhere. I'll need to find that if you're going to open up any of the other systems, which we will. So I should find that. It's rolling around here somewhere. Alright. So, inside of a PlayStation Classic controller, as you can see, there is just a micro USB cable. A lot of people are like, wow, they're really lazy. I kind of like that a lot. Uh, okay, that thing turned off. It's, I don't know, if you fray the cable or something like that, you can just find another one. Some people replace them with braided ones, and it's kind of cool. I like it. My headset is an Arctis 7, Arctis 5. I have their box around here somewhere. They're pretty nice. I used to roll with a Logitech G35. I think that's what it was. So many G's with the Logitech line of things. Alright, we're going to plug this in. Alright, let's come full circle. We're going to plug in PlayStation Classics using PlayStation Classic controller cable. HDMI and power.
No light. We get no light. Alright. That one's a bust.
HDMI and power. Make sure that's plugged in all the way. That's 4 not powering. 5 USB hub, 2 working perfectly fine. Ooh, it's getting hot. Um, come on. Come on. We're going to try on one of the working ones. Maybe these aren't broken. Why am I not getting power? What's something else that can power off this? Dual shock. Something is suspicious here. I'm putting these 2 back. This is the working one. Yeah, I don't know. Power brick just stopped working. It's a Nintendo branded one, so you know it's at least not terrible quality. Ugh. Let's try. Ooh, maybe one of them is so broken. No, that wouldn't really work. I was gonna say that I shorted out my something disconnected. Cable works fine. Power brick doesn't. Okay. Um. How am I going to power this? Maybe. Maybe if I try this. I can't plug it into the main PC because if they're stock systems, they won't boot off of anything that has data lines. Um, the question is, does this boot like this now? I think my capture was just disconnected. Okay. Okay, so this works. So I have it plugged into a hard drive dock. That's not plugged into a computer, so it should boot fine. So I'm going to retest the last couple of them that I've chucked over here in the dead pile because I'm not necessarily convinced they're dead if that power brick just stopped working. For those that are, for the one that possibly brick that brick. Oh, maybe that one was pre-modded. Because that's what the one blinking red light is what it shows when it's plugged into a PC. Do I have another brick around here somewhere? I know I have one. It's just a matter of where. I gotta pop over to the other room. 1 second. If my lovely girlfriend is watching this, I stole your USB power brick and I will return it. And I love you. controller. Sorry. Under the disk. Fun stuff. Working power brick. Oh, this is one of the dead ones. That wasn't working a minute ago. Oh yeah, this is the one that was flashing red. Okay, we're back. So we can plug in the controller now. And no worky. USB hub or limiter issue. We have our running total is 2 fully dead, 6 with controller issues, which is either someone didn't do the limiter properly or the USB hub chip is dead itself. And then we have 2 fully working. Which is kind of a shame. Like, I've seen a few of them just like broken on the hub chip. I'm hoping that people are actually like just breaking these with the limiter, because then I can actually fix it. Not that I can't fix the USB hub ones, it's just easier to fix the limiter and I don't have to like go and get parts and everything like that. Orange. Power. Green. Boot. Boot. Cannot recognize controller because there is none. Plug it in. Controller issue. This seems to be a pretty common theme with these. So, if we end up learning our lesson here, and most of these are just the controller issue,
and I can go through those and check. My theory is that there's actually quite a few of these. Hey, who knows? If you've had this problem, maybe I have yours. This one is kaput, totally dead.
Alright, we got 3 left to test. Power goes right here. Dead question. Did this... Oh, okay. I was going to say. I was hoping that that last one wasn't actually just frying more of these. Or at least not, like, frying my brick again. Just kind of bouncing. This is the third to last one still. No red light. Dead. Possibly a fuse. I think what we'll do is we'll take a look at least 1 to 2 of each. And then I'll probably stop the stream and try to take a whack at them. Because we've been going for 44 minutes. People probably aren't going to watch that. Dead. And last one, error code broken. USB port. Okay, so this one should boot. But but it's not. It's not powering. Why is it not powering?
Let's try one of the working ones again. Hmm.
I wonder if there's something weird going on with a little power brick there. Again, fun. Okay, so I'm going to throw those two in the non-working, just for the sake of doing that. Because I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a micro USB cable, cut one end off the side of it, and then plug that into my variable power supply over there, which will let me set it exactly to the preferences that I want of a constant 5 volts. This guy. So running total, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 not working because of either the USB hub or somebody screwed up the current limiter. Which I'm really hoping it's the latter. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 not working, just not powering on. Those might actually be powering on, and my brick isn't working. There's 2 to 3 of them. And then we have 2 fully working. Honestly, that's a bit better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a whole lot worse, and it was just going to be a lot of them just not working. It makes sense, though. So I am going to try to cut over to my microscope, and then we can start taking a look at some of these. In which case, I'll probably turn my webcam off, because you otherwise are going to be looking at my back. I'm not sure you want to be doing that. Let's see if we can get the microscope. There it is. And let's do that and bump the webcam down. I'm going to take a little swig. All right. Now we can get working. Check my text real quick. All right. So for those that might not watched my stuff before, I have a microscope which lets me look at things in a very detailed microscopic view. This is a Raspberry Pi Compute Module 3 Plus, as you can see.
I don't know what to. I always kind of don't know what to use as a guide for how small this stuff is. This is a
millimeter measuring stick. You can see this thing is, just over 15 millimeters there. So this lets me see things in pretty fine detail. I did see my screwdriver. I have it here. Let's bust open one of these completely non-working ones. So it's probably not going to be very interesting because it's just undoing screws. So I apologize for that. I do want to get like an overhead camera for my workbench to make these streams a little bit more interesting sometimes. And you get to see the fine detail of a screw. Look at that. So there are 5 screws on the bottom of a PlayStation Classic. One in each corner and then one in the front middle. And then we can go and remove the top. Unfortunately, this is as far as I can zoom out with this microscope. So this is going to be pretty worthless when I actually start taking these apart. Alright, here's the board. I'm going to take this off. Come on. Actually, what I could do is I could get an HDMI matrix. 1080p HDMI matrix, because those are running pretty cheap now. That 4K is kind of all the buzz. Alright, I got enough of those plastic cases. So, what are we looking at here? This is the PlayStation Classic motherboard. Let's take a look at the current limiters, which, if I point out with my trusty little tweezers, is this component right here. So that one seems to be fine, that one seems to be fine, but this one is not working at all. So, let's take a look here. That power runs into... this is the ground plane here. This is power. Runs into this chip. Ah, so there's no fuse on this. Did Sony really cheap out and I'm just thinking of the NES and SNES Classic? No, Sony cheaping out. How could that be? Any scorching on the board of any type? Not that I can see. Oh, again, this might be one that's not actually broken. I think I took this from one of the ones that I was iffy about. I'm going to flip it over and take a look at this side. There's not much on this side, but those look okay. Those look fine. That looks okay. Okay, I'm going to chop this one up to possibly the power brick not working. This is the first one I took apart, so let's try this one. Don't tell me my screwdriver's about to die. It charges through micro USB in it, but still. I guess I could look at chat too and see if anybody said anything. It doesn't happen all that often, so I'm not used to looking at it. So yeah, there's 5 on the other underside, and there's 4 holding the board in, which is actually the opposite of the NES Classic, which has 4 screws on the bottom and 5 holding the actual board down. Which is better? You tell me. Ooh, okay. So, this one looks like it's gotten some water damage. Someone wasn't very truthful. You can tell that there's been water damage from this splotch here. All this residue that is around here. These actually, I'm not sure those actually look pretty good. Those might be burnt out. Oh no, those look fine. So I imagine what's happened is that there's probably some corrosion somewhere, and it might be under a chip. So maybe what we'll have to do is try to like reflow this. Ooh, yeah, I see that there. See all that corrosion in there? That's yucky. So you can't really see it here, but when you tilt it on its side like that, you can kind of really see it. Yeah, so this one was water damage. That's why that's not working. Let's do one more of the fully dead ones. I'm going to check chat real quick. Uh, oh yeah, that's a good point. Water damage. USB hub chip might be salvageable. That's a very good point. Very, very good point. Yeah, I think the screwdriver's dying. No. These screwdrivers are actually really nice. They're a Jacome brand or Jacome brand or Jacome brand. It's Jakemy. I got it off Amazon, and it's a little weird to hold sometimes. I wish they would put the switch farther down, closer to the tip. Um, but otherwise, it works pretty decently, and it just saves my wrist from like turning screwdrivers all day. And you can set torque limits on it and all that crap. Kind of like any other electric drill. Oh no, never mind. That's me getting ahead of myself here and not realizing I already took that screw out. Okay. Dead board number 3. I also have a couple USB hub chips from some of the boards I've already killed myself. So, it doesn't seem to be water damage on this one. Definitely some corrosion happening there. You see that? That's all splotchy. But otherwise, yeah, it just seems to be the planes, which isn't necessarily something to be worried about. Let's take a look at those limiters. Maybe something's shorted out on this board. That one's fine. There's a little something something there. It's just a piece of hair or something. So this is the USB hub chip. Kind of see how small these pins are. So it's kind of hard to find a direct replacement for that. I think I've found some online, but I've never actually gone and tried to order them. Yeah, nothing suspiciously wrong with this one. What is that? Doesn't necessarily look like corrosion there. Maybe it's just the luster of it, but definitely looks like something. A lot of these aren't really worth saving all that much. So, I mean, if like I said, if I can get 5 out of it, I'll be happy. Doesn't look like anything's broken. So I'll have to do some measurements on that later. Okay, that's those. So 3 broken ones. One's definitely water damage. The other ones I'm not terribly sure what's wrong with them. So I'll have to take a look at them more in depth. But these are pretty simple boards, so I can measure some of the voltages and make sure everything's fine. And I am going to hook these up to my power supply and just do kind of another run through with some of them. And to kind of see how much current they're drawing. So like that water damage one, I would like to see if it's drawing a lot of current, generating a lot of heat somewhere, and possibly shorting out. Gives up some resistor or capacitor or something like that. There's a lot of like redundancies built in these systems, so I think if there's something shorting out, it should be pretty easy to remove /replace/fix. Worst case scenario, I harvest them for their hub chips. I just got a buttload of screws here. Alright. So, again, this is one that is not working because of the controller port. So, let's take a look. Don't seem to have done anything with that. Seem to have done anything with that. The hub chip seems to be intact. Yeah, I mean, like, obviously that hasn't been touched at all. Because if that was touched, you'd be able to tell. So, hi, screw. What are you doing over there? Okay. That's fine. Yeah, nothing obviously wrong with that one. Let's try another one. This is the one that was marked as 001, but is just malfunctioning because of the controller port. I think the next step for a lot of these is, let's plug them into the power supply that I have. Test to make sure that sorry, my headset died again. Test them to make sure they're not like drawing too much current. And then plug the controller in and see what happens there. Measure voltages where they need to be measured. All that fun stuff. Alright. That one came off semi-clean. This is a controller one. That looks okay. That looks okay, and that looks okay. No obvious corrosion. I think what I'd like to do, there's some corrosion happening there. I think what I'd really like to do is, for these controller ones, make an like an auto beam stick or something like that.
Let's see if that fixes them. Let's actually try that out. Because I'm not going to go through all of them on camera, because that's a lot of time. And time and a lot of patience, and I'm probably not going to work on all of them tonight.
We'll look at some of them. So, let's do desktop with webcam. Hi, everybody. I'm moving that up there. No working controller port. Recovery to flash modded UFS and kernel. Then put a USB hub in OTG. That would work. Probably not the best solution, but it would work. And I'm just using Auto Bleem because it's easiest to use when not having to worry about installing kernels and everything like that. They do releases on here, don't they? See, I like that. I like my releases right here. Christmas edition. Hey. When did it get to be 500 megs? Are they including the database of that? I really don't like that. I don't like large downloads, 500 meg downloads for release. Because every time you got an update, you gotta download that. RetroArch, bin. Yeah, it's mostly database stuff. Covers and all that stuff. Okay, so now we gotta find a USB drive, which may be easier said than done these days. I seem to be running low on them, but I did just have one laying around somewhere. Welcome to my life. Flash drive, where are you be? That was English. Oh, eternal struggle. What is this? What is this? That's a Wi-Fi module. I have this. That would work, right? This is the eMMC reader that got us the first dump of the PlayStation Classic. So, if we take a module, which I have... Where did I put those? Over here somewhere. Aha, there. If we take an eMMC chip like that, let me pop that in here. Matching dot to arrow. Like that. We're going to use the most overcomplicated 32 gig flash drive you've ever seen. It's powered. Format. FAT32. Sure, why not? .32 gig with I guess this is the thing. Yeah, let's just drag this here. And it's going to take a hot minute to copy. This is why I don't like big payloads. Like, I know you don't need all of this, but you know, it is what it is. What up, Wesk? Yeah, no, I think it should be optional. I don't know. I'm one of those weird people that like I bought the PlayStation Classic because I really just wanted to play Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 and NFL Blitz.
Nintendo Pro Skater 1, and Crash Bandicoot.
I think that's it. I basically bought it so I could hack it and then put games on it. Nintendo Pro Skater 2 was one of the first games that weren't the stock ones on the system in general. So we'll wait till that copy's over. I've been working on BleemSync lately. Not this version of BleemSync. I've been working on a version of BleemSync that is, let's see, it's under dev.azure.com/Dr. Dalek. Nope, that's my old email. And I'm going to take this up here. CCI artifacts. Maybe that's what it's under. There we go. This. Okay, so this build, early non-functioning build of BleemSync, and why is it zipping it twice? Of BleemSync is an Avalonia-based application, which Avalonia is a third-party .NET framework which lets you build UI applications using XAML and WPF and all that fun stuff. Okay, this is gone. What are the instructions? And my Explorer has crashed. So I built this tiny user interface that doesn't even work anything right now. I think it'll start. But you can, like, since I have to go get games for the system anyway. I can take, like, this Area 51 bin and drag it here. And it scrapes it from BleemSync Central and makes a database entry of it. That's really all it does. But if you look at if you're interested in programming, you can take a look at the code. It's really it's in the desktop application branch. It's a really cool setup in that it's a fully pluggable interface. So you can load in a plugin and do things like create your own custom scrapers, fingerprinters, that type of thing. I haven't actually gotten it to where it like syncs properly, but okay, yeah, I don't want to do that in a directory. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to do Area 51. But it's pretty cool, and I'm hoping basically that instead of having all these different interfaces, you'll use one interface to install whatever type of payload that you want. And
the different teams, like for Project Eris or Lunar or Autobleem or whatever you want to use, they basically make their own plugin to handle the on-console scripts. And what that does is it alleviates the worry for them for building an interface and being able to script the info from somewhere and all that stuff. It takes that off their plate and lets them focus on the core functionality of actually syncing the games. Or actually taking the games that the system tells it wants to sync and then actually inserting them onto the system, as well as doing things like handling installing mods and the actual initial payload and everything. So I'm just going to copy over Area 51. I think this is a gun game, so it's probably not something we'll be able to test, but it's what I had in bin queue format. So we'll try it. And then my voice is getting pretty rusty right now, so we'll try plugging this into one of the hub systems and just see if that potentially could be a fix. It's an easy thing, that's for sure. Because I guess I'm wondering if someone possibly installed their payload incorrectly, if it could, and I haven't dug into it, and I don't remember the software from that perspective, but if somebody here we go. If somebody installed the payload incorrectly or it didn't work for whatever reason, that maybe the controller isn't being recognized properly because something's messed up with the system itself. Or with the software, rather. And it's not actually the USB hub chip or the limiter or anything like that. So we're going to take my webcam, put that up there. I know these streams are super rough. This is probably the best one I've done as far as like organization, stuff like that. So I'm trying to make them better. Not that anybody really watches them, but I get some views after the fact. Yeah, this brick just does not want to work, man. I don't know what's up with this. These power bricks just stopped working for some reason. If I just burn through 2 of them, I'm going to be really mad. These are the good Nintendo ones that came with the NES and SNES Classic. You got power light on this one. I wonder if they just have like an E fuse or something like that could set, or an E breaker, whatever you want to call it. Okay, power. We should be getting a video signal, which we do. And I just want to confirm that this is still a controller issue. So I'm booting it without anything plugged in currently. Yep, controller issue. So I'm going to unplug it, plug in the Autobleem thing, which just barely fits in there with the controller. This is quite hilarious, actually. And power. Still cut out the logo late or early. Huh. Does this need to be plugged in the first port? Oh. Okay. So this one is definitely a USB hub chip problem, and we can actually take a look at this. But if you notice, and
I really think that Sony needs to be challenged on this. Let's just crack into why. So I didn't inspect the outside of the case of this one, but once I do, it should be pretty apparent what is going on here. We'll take the webcam and bump it down. Alright, so this one is definitely a USB hub chip problem, because if we look at where the hub chip normally lies, which, if you're looking at the top of it, the top front is right underneath the power switch. This is all sorts of warped from heat. You see that right there? How oblong that is? Another bottom here. That should look like this. So this is definitely melted. So I think what they did is they didn't put any sort of protection in on the 5-volt line, and they just routed it straight to, well, I mean, they did, but not until the, okay, so if you look at the system on the inside, there's no fuse between the actual power in and to the rest of the system. And I could potentially get a NES and SNES Classic board to kind of show you what that fuse looks like. I'm actually really excited about this because it's a good thing to learn. Oh yeah, and you can see some scorching under the there's some discoloration. I don't know how well you can see that with this crappy camera that's attached to the microscope, but it's pretty plain to see in real life. You can kind of see the warping on the other side. This should not be shiny, it should be like this. So basically, what Sony has done with these PlayStation Classics that are generally pretty solid hardware and pretty well thought out. What they've done is they've taken the 5-volt line directly from the micro USB port, and they've connected that directly to the USB hub chip. So if you end up having like a Samsung Galaxy 6, I think is the one that was the worst offender. Samsung Galaxy 6 quick charger, it doesn't like to negotiate real well. It doesn't like to do like the USB-C negotiation. So what you end up doing is you take this power line here, or this power rail for the 5 volts, and you end up running that through the entire system. And with the Galaxy S6, I believe it can do up to like 9 volts or 12 volts or something like that. So you basically end up sending like 12 or 9 volts over this rail, which then goes to, and you're going to laugh when you see this, the USB hub chip. Yeah, that thing is toast. Let's take some of my crappy. That's not supposed to be like that. See that hole that I just dug? See that bubble here? I don't know how well you can see that. There's a bubble on the top of this chip. So basically what ended up happening is there was too much voltage. I actually melted some solder over here. There's too much voltage going to this chip, which ends basically popcorns. And the actual die, like on the inside, just explodes, heats up and bubbles up.
So I think Sony deserves some flack for this because this is other than they thought enough to put protection on the data rail with this chip, and they had enough protection on the USB hub chip to not draw more than 100 milliamps. So they thought that through, and it's got some reverse polarity protection, and there's some other stuff on the board that's actually pretty well designed, and they use some not totally crap quality eMMC chips. But running the whatever is coming out of this pin directly to the USB hub, it's not that great of an idea. Let's see how far we can get. This is what your dentist does with your teeth. Rotting, decaying, sugary teeth. So do I have a pick? Yeah, I got a pick here. It's not the greatest, but yeah, see how brittle this is? And it's just scorched. And there's the underlying. Ah. So, now if I remember correctly, there was something similar with the PS4. Either something with a limiter or some power issue like this. I know this is pretty common with MacBooks. But you can see I can just, obviously I'm using some force at this point, but this really shouldn't be that easy to get into. So, yeah, this is this is obviously a point where that chip exploded, possibly caught on fire a little bit, definitely heated up enough to melt the bottom of the casing. And that board is toast. At least that chip is. So this is something that maybe I'll do a separate video on. I might not do it on a stream, but I might just try to swap them and see if this board starts working again. Because otherwise it seems to work fine, except for that hub chip. But I think that's all I'm going to do. I've been streaming for an hour and a half. Some people are probably sick of me talking, even though I have 11 watchers right now, so thank you for that. But yeah, thanks for watching. Just as a grand total of things, I have 6 that aren't functioning because of the controller. 7 that aren't functioning because of the controller. 6 that aren't functioning because they're not turning on at all, which might be a power brick issue that I was experiencing before. I'll have to test that a little bit more. And then 2 that actually are fully working. So I have, I think, 4 boards with the USB hub chip intact that I'll be able to fix. So I'm hoping to get at the very least, I'm hoping to get at least like 6 of them working. If I get 6 of them working, that is above my 5 out of this lot of 15, and I would call that a success. If I can get more, that'd be great. If I could get all of them working, I'm not entirely sure if that's doable, especially with that one that's fully water damaged. Might just need a reflow on that, which I can use some flux and try that out and see if that works. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Coming up was going to be with one of these that's fully working. I'm going to try doing an eMMC swap on it. and try increasing the storage. I've done that like 5 or 6 times by this point with 5 or 6 different systems. Um, we're going to try it again, and I think we're going to be successful this time because I've kind of gotten the whole process down, and I've got the right tools now. And uh, if I at this point, if I can't get it to work on the next one, it's either because I damaged the board or because the eMMC boot partition, which is unavailable when you use adapters like this, because this is just an SD adapter, uh, that is uh, uh, written to and booted off from by the PlayStation Classic. Um, I don't think that's the case. I think we'll be able to do it, and at worst case scenario, I'll be able to hook up like UART to it and take a better look and see if there's something else we can do. Uh, but that is it for now. Uh, I am Pat Hartle, Dr. Dalek on Discord. If you want to, you can follow me on YouTube here. I'm going to try to start scheduling more streams when they happen. It's better for me, and it's better for you guys too. I'm going to try to start doing them earlier in the day because I've been doing more life things at night. Uh, except when I'm at work, I won't be doing them during the week. So thanks for watching. I'm gonna also drop a link to my Discord if you want to join that. Otherwise, you can find me on the Autobloom Discord and the Rock My Classics Discord. So have a good night. It's Saturday. No, it's Friday. No. Oh no, it's Friday. I took off on vacation. So have a good weekend, and I will talk to you guys later.